everyone, it's Zuzu and 안녕하세요 여러분, 저는 주주입니다. And today I want to talk about how to apply for the H-1 working holiday visa in Korea. Disclaimer, the application process is for the Netherlands, so if you're from a different country, some documents or the application process might have differences, so please check your own embassy and what kind of documents you need and what the process is like. Also, the documents and the process can change over time, so just use this video as a guideline, but please check the embassy's website for the visa application and the required documents. What is a working holiday visa? It means that you can live and work in Korea up to 1 year, and even though you're allowed to work, you can only work for 25 hours a week. So it's not like you can work 40 hours or have a full-time job or use this visa to have a full-time job in Korea. If you want to have a full-time job in Korea, you need to apply for a different visa. There are not many rules about this visa, but there are some professions that you are not allowed to do. You need to be between the age of 18 to 30, never have applied for a working holiday visa before for Korea. So if you've done it for a different country, that's fine. And you mustn't be accompanied. So no kids, no spouses, just you. Alright, so here's the full list of documents that I needed here in the Netherlands in 2023. Again, it might change. And let's just go through them step by step, how I got the documents, how the visa application went. But I will not go in this order. I will actually go in the order of documents that you should get first, because I had a lot of trouble with some documents and I think it would be best to be prepared which documents take longer than others. I think the most annoying part of getting these documents is that some have a time limit, which means that they cannot be older than a certain amount of time. Some cannot be older than 6 months, 3 months, or a week. Let's look at the first 4 documents that you need and which I think you should start as soon as possible. First one is making sure that your passport does not expire during the application and 6 months after the application. So there needs to be enough time before your passport expires. If it does expire or if you don't have a passport, you need to apply for it. In the Netherlands, it takes about 5 days to get a new passport and it's around 78 euros. So it doesn't take a long time to get the new passport, but it is good to have it on time. The second one is the criminal record. So here in the Netherlands, I needed to have proof that I'm not a criminal, that I do not have a criminal record. The application process for this was actually quite easy. I just needed to fill in a form, make an appointment, show up at the appointment, and then give them the form as well as the proof why I needed a criminal record history document. So in this case, I just screenshotted the website for the visa and I explained that I needed it for the visa and everything was okay. They say the document takes about 3 weeks to be issued, but for me it only took 2 weeks, I think. But just to be sure, try to get it as soon as possible. In the Netherlands for the visa, it's valid for 6 months. So just apply for it when there's this 6-month mark of when you want to leave to Korea. Issuing the criminal record document also has a cost. I think I paid 42 euros for it. The next document is getting a TBC test. This one is valid for 3 months here in the Netherlands. So I just made an appointment to get a TBC test. There are several different tests which also have different price ranges. So you have the Mantoux test or you can get an x-ray. I chose for the x-ray. It's a bit more expensive, but you get the results on the same day and it cost me 51 euros. Then the fourth document that I would really recommend getting as soon as possible is your insurance plan. So for this visa, you need a medical insurance plan. The insurance plan should be in English, valid in the Republic of Korea, covering repatriation, medical treatment, and hospitalization, covering for a duration of 1 year and a minimum of 30,000 euros. Now, applying for an insurance like this for me was not difficult, but it just took a long time. It took about 10 work days, so it can be 2 to 3 weeks. And after I got the document, I still had some problems with my visa application, because even though I had a 1-page that mentioned everything that my insurance would cover, it did not say the minimum of 30,000 euros. So I had to call my insurance again and ask if they could add it to the document and then send it again to the embassy for my visa. So really make sure for this insurance plan that everything they need to know for this visa is on it, because they will not accept it if all the necessary items that they want your insurance to cover is not on the list. Like, they're really strict about this. So once you've got these 4 documents, I would focus on getting a passport-sized picture, because you need one for the visa application. It's not difficult to get it. You just walk into a store to get your picture taken or you make an appointment. It cost about 15 euros for me. It is also valid for 6 months. So you can get the passport photo earlier or later. It's fine. Then the second document that I would focus on is your working holiday activity plan. So they want you to write an activity plan about what you're going to do in Korea, how are you going to spend that year there. And this document really needs to convey the message that you're going there to not just work. They really want to see that you want to experience the culture, that you're going to travel, that you're going to experience lots of things in Korea. So don't empathize too much about work, but more about the activities that you want to do there or learn or see or do. And here in the Netherlands, there was no template, so I just freestyled it a bit. I told them what I wanted to do in each season, and then I made a table to really clarify everything that I wanted to do. So as you can see in the table here, this is kind of what I would like to do. I might add things, I might remove things, but for the most part, this is what I would like to do the upcoming year in Korea. Writing the working holiday activity plan can take some time because you need to research what you want to do, what you want to see, what you want to visit. So take your time, don't start too late with this, and just work on it while you're applying for the other documents that you need. And in the week before you want to apply for your visa, you have to do a lot of things. So here in the Netherlands, I could not pay by card at the embassy. I had to send the money to their bank, which can take 2 to 3 days. And they need proof of this as well. So I sent the money and then I sent them an email with the proof of payment. And the total cost of the visa and the service was 141 euros. It's quite expensive. I also need a bank statement. This one can not be older than 1 week. So this is the document that I struggled the most with. And your bank statement needs to show how much money you have on the bank. It needs to show that you have at least enough money to survive the first few months. I think it's around 2,000 to 3,000 euros. And if you do not have a return flight ticket, it needs to be a little bit higher so that they know you can afford a return ticket. So once you've done the proof of payment, you have the bank statement, you have all the other documents that you need, that's when I would recommend getting a flight ticket and booking your Airbnb, hotel, guest house, whatever you want. I booked my Airbnb and flight ticket first, but this caused me a lot of stress with my documents and my visa application because I had so much trouble with them and I thought I would not get my visa on time. Even though it might cost more to book it quite last minute, save yourself the stress and just book it maybe the day before you want to apply for your visa. And once you bought your plane flight ticket and booked your Airbnb, hotel, whatever, you can fill in the visa application form. You need to have a proof of flight ticket for the visa and you need the Airbnb or hotel or some kind of address where you'll be staying at least the first few days, month, whatever, for the visa application form. The visa form is not too difficult to fill in, but if you have any questions or if there are things that you don't really understand, I found a website that was so helpful for me when I filled it in. I will put it in the description box down below, so please check it out if you have trouble filling in your visa application form. I had no questions after looking at this website. It is so thorough. You also need to fill in a consent form, which means that you give consent to the embassy to have your passport and to use the information on your passport to create the visa, basically. And if you don't want to pick up your visa yourself, you can choose to have it delivered at your home, but this is optional and it could cost you a bit more for the shipment, and you also need to fill in a consent form if you want to do this. Long story short, this is the order of documents that I would apply for the visa, and in total I spent about 250 euros for the visa, so it is not a cheap visa, but at least you get to stay a year in Korea, so I think it's totally worth it. Now, as for how long it took for the visa to be processed, when I asked them, they told me it could be like 14 work days, so it could be 2 to 3 weeks, but in the end it only took 2 days. And I think the reason why it went so fast is, for one, I did not apply for a visa in a very busy period. On the embassy website they say that June to August is very busy and December to February. And secondly, my documents were in a really good shape. They understood everything apart from my insurance plan, but after a bit of emailing everything was sorted out. And because my documents were so clear to them, they were able to process my visa really fast. And I'm really thankful, because if it had taken 14 days to process my visa, I would have missed my flight. I would have to cancel it and find a different flight. But thank God I don't need to. I have my visa. I'm moving to Korea for at least 1 year in October in a few days. Oh my God. I'm really happy that I got my visa, and I hope this video is helpful for those who want to apply for the working holiday visa as well. Please follow me if you're curious what a working holiday is like in Korea, as I will be vlogging this whole year about my life there. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below, but please keep in mind that if you're not from the Netherlands and if you do not apply this year, there might be changes between your process application and mine. I will help you as best I can, but I do not have all the answers myself. Sometimes it's better to just contact the embassy and ask for the information if anything is unclear. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Okay, bye.